The poor teacher betrayed by her husband, 10 years later, becomes an inspirational entrepreneur. Hello, dear audience, and welcome to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe for more meaningful stories every day. Na Yuyan, an elementary school teacher from a poor rural village, once had a happy family with her husband, Hui, a young and ambitious architect. She loved Hui deeply and always supported him through tough times. But as his company started to flourish, Hui began to change. Late nights, strange text messages, and sudden business trips made Na Yuyan suspicious. One evening, she accidentally saw Hui with an elegant woman at a town cafe. They laughed together, their hands intertwined. When confronted, Hui admitted the truth. He wanted a divorce, saying, "You're not enough to keep up with me in this life. I need someone who can help me achieve greater things." Na Yuyan was stunned. From a love that was once pure, she became someone discarded. After the divorce, she left the home they had built together, taking with her only a few books and a small suitcase. Yuyan moved to the city to start over. She rented a tiny room in a cramped alley. In the beginning, she was overwhelmed by sadness and a sense of failure. But one day, while tidying up, she found a letter from her late mother. "Dear daughter, never let others define your worth. Believe that you can achieve anything." Those words reignited a spark in Yuyan. She began studying online business and financial management skills. During the day, she worked as a restaurant server. At night, she devoted herself to learning and experimenting with online sales. After months of trial and error, Na Yuyan managed to open a small shop specializing in handmade decorations. With creativity and hard work, her shop quickly became a favorite spot among the city's youth. One day, Yuyan received an investment proposal from a group of students developing a recycled jewelry project. Seeing their potential and passion, she decided to support them. The project exceeded expectations, bringing Yuyan her first significant profit. Not stopping there, Yuyan continued investing in sustainable startup projects, gradually building her reputation in the young entrepreneurial community. 10 years later, at a prestigious business award ceremony, Yuyan stood on stage as the keynote speaker. She shared her journey from being a betrayed teacher to a successful entrepreneur. In the crowd was a man quietly watching. It was Hui. After leaving Yuyan, his career had hit rock bottom. His company collapsed, and the other woman left him. Now, he was just an ordinary architect living in a rented apartment. As the ceremony ended, Hui tried to approach Yuyan, but she had already left, surrounded by admirers. All he could do was watch, a heavy weight of regret pressing on him. Na Yuyan no longer thought about the past or the pain Hui had caused. She had risen above it to live a meaningful life. She found it a fun to support women entrepreneurs, helping hundreds of women in circumstances similar to hers. Hello, dear audience. Thank you for following this story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel for more inspirational stories every day. Share your thoughts in the comments. In a speech at the inauguration of her foundation, Yuyan said, "Success is not just about what you achieve for yourself, but also about how you create opportunities for others. The most valuable lesson I've learned is the power of belief and perseverance." The event ended with thunderous applause. Yuyan smiled, knowing she had found the true meaning of life. One day, during a startup seminar hosted by Na Yuyan in the city, Hui, now a freelance architect, decided to attend. He had no clear purpose except to see the woman he had left behind. When Yuyan stepped onto the stage, the hall fell silent. She began sharing her early failures, the turbulent days after her divorce, and how she rediscovered herself. Hui, sitting in the back row, couldn't take his eyes off her. After the seminar, as people took photos and chatted, Hui approached her hesitantly. He said softly, "Yuyan, may I have a moment?" Yuyan was momentarily surprised, but quickly regained her composure. She led Hui to a quiet corner, her eyes calm but piercing. "What do you need from me?" she asked, her voice void of emotion. Hui lowered his gaze and admitted, "I just wanted to apologize. For everything I did, I was wrong. I regret it every single day." Na Yuyan looked at him, a flicker of emotion passing through her eyes, but vanishing quickly. She replied, "Hui, Your apology doesn't change anything. The past is gone, and I don't need it anymore. You taught me the greatest lesson. Never let anyone else define my worth. I thank you for that, but I don't need you anymore. Hui stood in silence, unable to respond. He knew that no words could undo what had been done. Na Yuyan turned and walked away, leaving him standing there, small and insignificant amidst the crowd. After the seminar, Yuyan returned to her office, where she and her team were preparing for a new project, the Creative Nurturing Fund. This program aimed to support women and children in remote areas to develop business skills and financial independence. She decided to return to her hometown, a place filled with painful memories, but also the starting point of her remarkable journey. Upon her return, Yuyan reunited with many old friends who once pitted her fate when Hui left. Now, she appeared as a symbol of success and resilience. During a gathering at her old elementary school, Yuyan spoke to the students. I once stood in this very spot, dreaming of a better life. Life will test you, but remember, as long as you don't give up, your dreams can come true. Her words not only inspired the children, but also moved the adults in the village. Meanwhile, Hui, completely broken both financially and emotionally, decided to return to his hometown after failing in every attempt to rebuild his career. He lived in his parents' old house, doing small design projects for local clients. One day, he saw a poster about the Creative Nurturing Fund event organized by Na Yuyan in their village. Unable to resist the urge to see her again, Hui quietly attended the opening ceremony. At the event, Yuyan took the stage and spoke. I have returned not to look back at the past, but to build a better future for the next generation. We all have the opportunity to change, as long as we dare to face challenges and believe in ourselves. Hui stood frozen. Her words pierced deep into his regret. After the event, Hui didn't dare approach Yuyan. He stood at a distance, watching her radiate among the applause. Following her visit to her hometown, Yuyan continued working on larger projects. She began collaborating with international organizations to expand her initiatives supporting women entrepreneurs worldwide. Her name appeared in various newspapers, television programs, and global conferences. One day, she received a letter from an anonymous sender. Inside was a small note. Thank you for proving that anyone can overcome difficulties and achieve greatness. I hope you continue to inspire the world. Hui. Yuyan read the letter and smiled. She placed it in a drawer without saying anything more. Years later, Na Yuyan was honored with the Global Humanitarian Entrepreneur Award. Standing on a grand stage under bright lights, she addressed the audience as applause filled the room. Success is not just about one's personal journey, but about how we help others along the way. I will never forget the hard days, as they are the foundation of who I am today. The audience gave her a standing ovation. Yuyan smiled, knowing she had overcome everything to become not only successful, but also a person who brought value to others' lives. Despite her global recognition, Na Yuyan maintained a simple and humble life. She lived in a small house near the suburbs where she could relax after her busy days. Yuyan often spent her time tending to her garden, growing flowers and vegetables as a way to find balance in her life. One morning, while watering her garden, Yuyan received an invitation from an international NGO. They wanted her to become an ambassador for a global campaign supporting women in conflict zones. After a night of contemplation, Yuyan agreed, knowing this was a significant opportunity to expand her impact and help even more people. In her role as an ambassador, Na Yuyan traveled across the world, from war-torn regions to the poorest areas. She met resilient women who had overcome adversity to rebuild their lives. Every story they shared became a new source of inspiration, fueling her determination to continue her mission. At a conference in Africa, Yuyan delivered a powerful speech. We cannot choose where we are born, but we can choose how we live and overcome adversity. I see immense strength in every woman here. Together, we can change the world. Her speech was covered by international media, and the campaign she championed as an ambassador quickly gained worldwide attention, raising millions of dollars to support women-focused projects. During a work trip to Eastern Europe, Yuyan happened to reconnect with an old acquaintance. Her best friend from university. Ha was now the owner of a large restaurant chain and an influential figure in the culinary world. They quickly rekindled their friendship and discovered a shared goal: helping abandoned or vulnerable women. Ha proposed collaborating on a skills training program for impoverished women, focusing on the service and culinary industries. Yuyan immediately agreed. The program was soon launched across multiple countries, providing employment opportunities for thousands. Meanwhile, Hui, now a weary man burdened by the consequences of his past mistakes, quietly followed Yuyan's journey through news reports and social media. He had once believed time would ease his pain and regret, but the more he saw Yuyan's success, the deeper his sense of loss grew. One day, Hui decided to write a letter to Yuyan. This time, he didn't just apologize. He also expressed his admiration for her and thanked her for being a source of inspiration. Yuyan, I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I hope that one day you can see me as a man trying to mend his mistakes. Yuyan received the letter, but chose not to respond. She felt that Hui was not seeking forgiveness from her, but rather from himself. Years later, at the age of 50, Na Yuyan was honored with the title Woman of the Century for her tremendous contributions to global communities. In her acceptance speech, she said, "I once believed that happiness was something others brought into our lives. But through my journey, I've learned that true happiness comes from what we give, from the opportunities and hope we create for those around us." Her speech moved the audience to tears. A woman who had endured so much pain had now become a symbol of strength and compassion. A new chapter. Na Yuyan decided to step away from the spotlight, feeling it was time to dedicate herself to family and personal projects. She opened an educational center in her hometown, where children and women could learn essential life skills for free. One afternoon, in the small village where she grew up, Yuyan sat on a stone bench, quietly watching the sunset. She smiled, deeply feeling the peace she once thought she could never reclaim. Yuyan's story is not just the journey of a woman overcoming adversity, but a reminder that no matter where you start, you can always write a new chapter in your life. Dear viewers, thank you for following this story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel for more inspiring and meaningful stories.